Good morning, everyone. I don't know why the intro didn't play, but it didn't. So, welcome everyone to Conscious Business Zone. I am so excited to be here today with Claudiu Murgan, and I haven't gotten to be with him for a while. We did a summit together not too long ago, a year ago. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, last year went fast. It went really fast. And I am so excited. If you don't know Claudiu, you want to, because he is an amazing resource for you as you start to understand your own superpowers. He has not only has he worked on his own superpowers and can share those, he is a great resource for other people that have other aspects of that, because he has done a show called Spiritually Inspired for I don't know how many years.
5.5 years.
5.5 years. See, I've done this for I'm on my 7th year. So you know what I mean, is we're on the lookout for people that could help our audience. So Claudiu, why don't you start with how you got started with learning, well, actually sensing other people's gifts and wanting to showcase them.
Thank you, Kathy. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence and feel your energy. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about my next project, which is coming out on February 20th. But as you mentioned, Spiritually Inspired started back in 2020. I had the chance to interview friends who were deep on their spiritual path, and that gave me a boost and pushed me forward with confidence to go out there and find new guests, new name, new authors that could enrich the experience and the knowledge of those listening to me and to Spiritually Inspired. And everything grew organically over the 5.5 years. There were moments where, I panicked because I didn't have a guest for next Sunday. But in the end, I just relaxed into the energies and the schedule. And I said, if there is a gap there, so be it. I am not on a specific schedule. No one is pushing me from behind but myself. So let's see how the energy and the flow of guests will come towards me. So at one point, everything stabilized and people started to reach out. Of course, there are those who I went after because I wanted to pick up their brain and their knowledge. Someone like Bruce Limpton, Lynn McTaggart, and they were very kind, and they accepted my invitation. And over the years, now I can say there are 256 interviews. Some of those guests came back for the third and fourth time. And again, it's always a pleasure to interview them, to find out about new projects, new experiences. I ask them when I talk to them, what's going to be new for you for the next 12 months, and they share that they want to go in that direction or the other way. So again, it's a blast to find out more knowledge and interact with these people. So I was asked, why don't you put these interviews in a book format? Because not everyone is listening to podcasts. So at the end of 2024, I said, okay, let's do it. And I started working on the first one, the alternative methods of healing, where I brought together most of my guests who dealt with energy healing, tapping, sound healing, breath work. And it was amazing. And those subscribers who asked me to do that, they were right, because people who usually don't listen to podcasts bought the book and they took notes and they reach out to me asking questions. And it was unbelievable for me to have this type of interaction. The second one in the series is The Light Within the Mind. You got your own copy. You are part of the book because it touches on psychology, mediumship, and channeling. And the third one, which will come out this year as well, just to close the trilogy, will deal with shamanism and sacred plant medicine. So this is the story behind the books related to spiritual inspired interviews, and everyone will find something to learn from this book, from these interviews, and especially our interaction. And I mentioned to one of my guests recently about the scene where you went behind your house when you were 4 or 5 years old. You threw your hands in the air looking up and you said, "You dropped me off at the wrong family." And we both had a laugh.
Yes, I did. And I have no idea what triggered that. I'd love to know what happened right before I decided this is it. I'm out of here.
I think in our discussion, it came up with the fact that you're not being understood by your family, somehow your siblings, and you felt like the black sheep, and that's why you went outside and you had that reaction.
I imagine it could be all of that because they still don't quite understand me, and that's okay. But I wanted to show the book a little bit bigger. So this is the first book, and one of my favorite healers, Fran Bailey, is in this one. And so I pulled mine out. I have both of them as well. And then this is the new book that we're talking about today, which I think this whole trilogy would be a great addition to anyone's library, because you're not going to find this collaboration of different change makers, because each one of these people, whether they're a healer or they're in this The Light Within the Mind book, they're all part of the puzzle of us expanding our consciousness and working with the field to create the new earth. And the timing is perfect. Everything about this, Claudiu. And honestly, I don't know why I didn't think of doing this. I've been doing these interviews. I mean, it's brilliant. However, the inspiration came in and you took off with it. I am so impressed. I mean, this is a lot of work to herd cats.
Yes, I mean, 400 pages the first one, 438 pages the second one. I don't know how many pages on the third one, but for sure I don't want to exceed the previous number. So this is becoming, then too expensive and too hard to ship. But again, the second one has top-notch individuals and healers and experts in their own field. And I will start with the first one, which is Livia Devi. And if you didn't hear about her, she is a Arcturian multidisciplinary channel. And I am fortunate to work with her these days on her Soul Mission Activator program. It's very intense, it's very powerful, and we'll see the results at the end of the third month. But again, there is a 6-month integration period after that, and I will recommend it to everyone who feel the needs to get to the next level, to open up to the light, to their own soul family, and to the soul mission, which we, or most of us, want to find out what it's all about and step onto that path. So Livia is the one who is opening the book. We had a wonderful discussion about her own journey and how she reached this point from a IT manager in corporate world where she was very successful, making tons of money, and suddenly her journey in corporate world was cut short, and she was told a different story. And she realized that if she's going to refuse that new path, maybe she won't her success won't be the same. And she accepted the path, she accepted her soul mission, and she's a very successful spiritual business woman these days.
Yes, and she's on Gaia TV. If people are familiar with Gaia, the other thing I wanted to just say is that Claudiu has collected international speakers and resources. So not everyone. Claudiu's from Romania originally. He
Yes.
lives in Canada. And he has collected, and his interviews, if you end up following his YouTube channel and going to his site, you'll see that his interviews include people that you may never have heard of before. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know, that are in this wonderful new book. And so the resources that you're getting are global. This isn't just the Americas. It isn't just the same old people that have already made it big. These are up and comers. A lot of these people are starting their journey, and you can get them while they're still in that new fresh energy. Without they're fresh. They're not tired. They're highly connected to source. They're feel that they must do this mission. They're being escorted by their soul and their angels and their guides to do this work. Do you agree?
Yes, and the reason for that is because I want people to relate to these energy workers, especially as you said, they are sometimes at the beginning of their journey, sometimes somewhere in the middle, but people can relate to them. They are not going to the big scenes, to the big podiums, and they are unreachable. No, you can send them an email, they will reply right away. They will tell you, okay, when do you want to do this interview? When do you want to have a chat? So this to me is very important. And going back to what you said, that the book has international names, the second one on the list is Lars Muhl. And Lars is from Denmark. He's a seer. And he worked very under the radar in the 80s and 90s with his teacher in the southern France, in the Pyrenees. And that guy was so low profile. Only you'll hear about him only through recommendations, word of mouth. He won't have an internet account or like Facebook account or anything like that. People will reach out to him by phone and that's it. And he won't promote himself. He won't make a big fuss of his skills. And he was very skillful. So if you read Lars's trilogy, O Manuscript, you will understand what I'm talking about. It's a fascinating book. In fact, you can buy them all three in one volume. And after that, Lars wrote more books about the power of light within us, teachings of Christ. He goes to Israel, to the desert, and performs ceremonies there in certain caves. He is a seer, a real deal. And again, very low profile, but reachable. You can go and have courses with him in Denmark. He doesn't travel that much, but still is in his late 70s right now, I think. So take advantage of these elders and this knowledge while it's still available among us. The next one is Laurin Schneider. Laurin is a psychologist who developed a new concept using tarot cards, and she trademarked the concept therapy. So again, she gave real life examples on how she works with her clients using tarot cards, and it's a very interesting interaction. And of course, with her energy and guidance, she brings forward the message for her client, exactly what is needed. And it happens that the clients will pull out the right card from the deck, and usually she works with the client's personal deck, so their energy is imbued in the deck. I also want to mention our dear friends Kathy, David Maria, and Vivika Kalma. They both are in the book, and they talk about their own journey, how they met, their trip to or David's trip to Africa, to be given the honor as a 13th elder of Mount Kenya. And both of them are preparing right now for another trip to Africa for a different type of ceremony. They are going to shoot a documentary there. So again, as you mentioned, international speakers and experts, because Vivika originally is from Estonia, living in Tenerife, and David moved there as well to be together and bring their energy in a much more powerful outcome.
Yeah, the other person I love, well, I love a lot of these people, and I noticed my name's at the bottom of the list. They save the best to last. But you have Vivian Chavez, and I just love her work. I got to meet her in person at Starworks USA in Nevada, I don't know, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, and she did 2 healings in person on me, and then I ended up buying some of her husband's tools. I love these
Peter,
tools.
yeah.
Anyway,
I have this from Peter.
Oh, good. Okay. But these people, at least the ones I know, I don't know all of these people. So this is going to be a wonderful thing for me to study all of it. But the people I do know that you've included are some of my favorites. David Maria, as you mentioned, and Vivica. I've been a student of David's probably for 5 years. I took his Freedom from the Known class multiple times, and just like you, I mean, we're all on this journey to do the best we can to reconnect our head to our hearts. And all of these people are going to give you a little piece of the puzzle, and you'll find kind of a heat-like energy for the right person that's in this book, that might be your guide, your teacher, and you'll find that, like Claudiu, they aren't egoic. There isn't anyone in this that I know of that really thinks that they have figured it all out yet. They all know they're still on a journey. They're still being upgraded, and that they're doing their very best to take action on the instructions that they're getting from their higher knowing, and be courageous, because that's part of the message here, right, Claudiu?
Yes, and I work with some of these people personally, with David and Vivika, with you, with Ajita Shah. How do we know how many people heard of Ajita Shah? She is from India, but she lives in Toronto, an hour away from me. We met, we hugged, we had a wonderful conversation, an amazing interview. And then we decided to do more work together. Now she's part of my experts group on Chief Consciousness Officer program.
Oh,
So again, she's been doing this, or she realized that she has special skills since she was 4 years old. And she's been doing this energy work for the last 30 years, 35 years, under the radar. It started with family and friends, and then she expanded. And now she feels when she talks to someone, if that person is in need of energy, of any energy healing, and she's fully booked. But again, word of mouth, she doesn't go out there and amplifies, her message too much because she's busy doing the work.
Mhm.
And I have other examples which are not in the book. I mean, they said, I appreciate your offer, but I really want to stay private. And these people, again, they are fully booked with their work and they don't advertise themselves. It's just word of mouth because their results speak for themselves. So that's why I work sometimes. I love sometimes to bring them forward, either if it's not in a book format, in my discussion during other interviews. And you mentioned Vivian, yes, amazing energy and results with her Arcturian lineage. Also, Rachel Corpus, she's an angel incarnated. And you can see when when we had the interview, her face change when I asked her for a specific message. And I had friends working with her and they were pleased with the results. So again, if there are some of these people, even if I didn't work with them directly, I had friends who work with them. I recommended to the contributors in this book and they said, wow, we'll recommend other people as well. So yes, we are guided to bring certain people into this type of work.
Well, that is the question I wanted to ask, is how, out of all these incredible people that you've interviewed over all these years, how did you select? I mean, to do the trilogy, you probably had to keep whittling down and try to figure out how to connect so it flowed, so all of the book flowed. How did you select them?
So the first filter was, or the first decision was to create the themes: alternative methods of healing, psychology, mediumship, channeling, and then shamanism and sacred plant medicine. These were in my head the big themes. Everything else was kind of in between, and I could squeeze them in any of the volumes. And then I look at who were, again, prominent names, but also second and third level names which I can promote. And I decided that some of them have enough promotion, some need some promotion. And I sent the email out, and whoever replied first time were in. I sent the second email out to those who didn't reply, and then who replied second time, they were in. So it wasn't a very biased decision, very objective. I give everyone the same chance.
Oh, cool.
So especially, let's say, with Ajita. So with Ajita, I met her maybe a year and a half ago, but I was so impressed with her skills, with her work and our discussions and the interview. And I said, you know what, I'll give you a chance. What do you think? In alternative methods of healing, my dear friend, Dr. Olga Radochai, again, she doesn't have a big following, but her work speaks for herself. She's a shaman. She does sound healing, energy healing. I work with her. So I said, Olga, and she wrote a book also, channel book. I said, you know what? I want you in my first volume. Are you in? And he said, yes, no problem. Thank you very much. So again, you have Bruce Linton at the top, and then you have someone like Dr. Radochai, who doesn't have a big following, but she knows her stuff, and people can learn from her experience.
That's great. Yeah, I wondered how you did that, because that would be the overwhelming part of it for me to take. I think I have 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel now. So, but some are shorts. So
yeah, and I couldn't have dared to keep you out, Kathy. It was. I just couldn't do that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, we have kindred hearts, definitely. Okay, so I have a question about the name of the book. Yes. How did you choose the name, The Light Within the Mind?
There are various options, and because of psychology, mediumship, channeling, everything comes through our mind. Is the kind of a light that opens up us to the world, to the energy. Could be in the heart, but at the same time, psychology is more related to mind. And again, there are many options. I think I asked some of the contributors, what's your preferred, what was their preferred title? But in the end, I ended up with this one. I didn't have any subtitles, not on the first, second, or the last. Even for the last one, the shamanism, a subtitle might be required. But again, I want to keep the same format. Maybe I'll put a subtitle on the title book inside the book, but not on the cover. And for the third one of the contributors is Howard Charing. He's from UK, living in Romania right now. And he spent many, many years in Peru in the jungle with great shamans. And he's so advanced that he paints his visions, his shamanic visions. And he offered one of his paintings for free as a gift for the cover. So I have to work with the designer and see if we can integrate that while keeping the same type of format,
Wow. Yeah, the energy of that could really enhance the usefulness of the book, because there's so much about, well, these actually have a lot of wonderful energy in them right now. I mean, I'm so sensitive. I definitely feel it. So, no, I think these are beautifully done. And you can tell that there's a joyfulness about it that isn't always in books. A lot of times there's nervousness in books. You can tell that the author they birthed this baby and they are still unsure about the future.
No, I really loved working on these books. Gave me a lot of pleasure interacting with these people. And I had a bit of challenge, I have to be honest. I had a bit of challenge finding the right person to write the forward. Last year for the alternative methods of healing was pretty much first email sent out, first hit with Dr. Glass. I was so honored to have her write the forward. But this year, everyone was busy, and they said, "We love the concept, we love what you are doing, but we don't have time due to the short timeline you're asking us to do it." But from word of mouth, through referral, I got to a very interesting gentleman. I didn't know too much about him. I mean, I heard of him and his books. His book, in fact, the Secrets of the Alchemist, Colin Holmes. And he's the one, I think, who brought Paul Coelho book, The Alchemist, to the forefront in the West.
Wow.
Western societies, to the Western readers. So he was kind enough to write the forward to this book. So I'm quite honored.
Well, I got two of your books, and I'm trying not to bend too much of the cover or mess it up. But yeah, well, that's just the way I eat books. So, okay, so I have a question about what surprised you when you put all of this together. What surprised you the most in the perspectives shared by the contributors in this book?
They all talk about, going with the flow, know yourself, find the right support, go reach out to the right people. Don't be afraid to the external feedback you receive from, let's say, family and friends, especially when it's not encouraging. And what I didn't mention, and neither of us mentioned, is that each book has, at the end of each chapter, practical lessons. So each contributor decided to put forward practical lessons that anyone can implement on a daily basis, especially, alternative methods of healing. You can do some tapping, you can do breath work, you can do anything you can find in those chapters, in those practical lessons that will help you improve yourself, self-development, and on your spiritual path. The same goes for um, the light within the mind. So let me see if I can go to one quickly and see. See, I have to wear my glasses now. It's that age. So no, I won't be able to read without my glasses. So let me see if I can get it and read you a sample.
It's okay.
Okay, so let's see. So this is from Lars. Spiritual growth requires practice, not just knowledge. Reading spiritual texts and gathering information is not enough. True transformation begins when you integrate and practice what you've learned. As Lars will discover, experiencing spiritual truth firsthand is far more powerful than merely understanding it intellectually. And this reminds me the fact that he mentions in his books that he was on his spiritual path and he read maybe 1,000 books. But when he met his teacher, the seer, he realized he knows nothing. He realized that he practiced nothing. And he started fresh with his teacher. So it happened to me in the past. And I think it happens to every single one of us when we really want to accumulate more and more information, knowledge, but we lack practice. So it's better to read less and practice more.
I think embodiment is the key to all of this, because you have to make it in your own understanding. It's until you experience it, you can't really use it fully. And reading books I still love to read. I read every day. And the idea of putting those things to use is the key, right? We're in this time of huge change where all of the constructs, the programs, and the societal constructs that were put in place to make us safe and secure are being shown to not work anymore. They weren't based on love. They were based on fear. And so these tools that you're bringing out by doing this trilogy of books allows people to get a taste of what others people's perspective is on their connection to source, so that every one of the readers can experience it as well.
Yes, and something else that came to my mind while you were talking is not only the diversity of the experts and their experiences, is also the diversity of their age. Sarah Starr is maybe a little bit over 30 years old, and she exudes energy. She's a starseed. And if you listen to her post on Instagram or TikTok, you will want to jump up and down because, of her energy and the way she does all the postings. And she talks about serious things, but in such a way that is not scary. And I encourage you to read her chapter and go to her social media posts, and you will see what I'm talking about. And I think she's one of the youngest contributors in the book, with Lars being maybe the oldest. But again, diversity of experience, diversity of age, this is what people will find in this volume. And maybe only 5 or 6 or 10 of these chapters will resonate with you, but that's fine, because this is what you need at this point in your life. And someone which is 79 years old bought the volume from me 2 weeks ago. And he opened it up to the chapter of Ajita Shah, because he also knows Ajita. And he started reading it in front of me. And he said, "Oh my God, these questions, the way you ask them are so interesting. You know how to ask questions." And he forgot about me and he continued reading the chapter. So that gave me so much pleasure. Said, okay, if someone at 79 years old is still interested in this type of content, and he wants to learn, then someone in his 50s or 60s will definitely find something for his own self-development.
Perfect. Yes, I do think that your job, you've done a wonderful job of putting everything together so that it's highly useful. And as I said, if you're sensitive, you will actually feel the energy in the physical book. I assume you'll feel it if you buy the digital version as well. But what you'll see is it's a transfer of data for you. What I wanted to ask is, I still think that mediumship and channeling can still feel controversial for some of the audience. What role do you believe they play in healing and transformation?
I think it depends, first of all, for those who are doing the mediumship and channeling, to determine that the source they are getting the information is legit, is untainted. And I think, again, that's the main, the first step. And I've been told that very soon. You also told me in our session that I will be channeling. Could be my higher self, could be the Arcturian Council of Light, could be whoever. But again, I have to establish that that connection is pure. And after that, is the healing aspect of those coming in contact with that type of energy, because the words and the body will exude that healing energy. And we by now we know, and I wrote extensively about this in my first book, The Decadence of Our Souls, and then in the Water Entanglement and Crystal Cloud, that the words have power and the vibration, and they affect everything around us. So the moment the channeling energy comes into our body and our body starts vibrating, we push that energy throughout the space around us. And if you are within that sphere of influence, healing happens. And I offer a monthly free energy session to a private group, friends and family mainly, or by invitation only. And at the end, it's very intense, it's very short, no more than 20-25 minutes. Again, virtual. And at the end of the session, while I'm, sweaty and trying to recover, I ask them, what did you feel? And they have different type of reaction with that energy. So we have to be sure, once again, that the source is true, is pure, untainted, and then the healing process will come. The mediumship, on the other side, of course, is still the same, has to be the same untainted source. But the mediumship is you just opening up to the information that comes to you for the person who's asking. And Beck Sawyer is the medium I interviewed in this volume, and Karen Doherty. They are both mediumships and interesting experiences. Bex, in fact, is from UK, and she does this type of sessions even in bars or in churches. And I asked her, how do the churchgoers react to your to this type of message, because it's pretty much against everything the church's message. And she said, I talked to the priests and we fine-tune the interaction. People are open to what I'm doing, and when they are there, they know that this is the type of message they are going to receive. So these experts, these mediumships, adapted to the environment they are practicing in. So once again, healing takes place because people who want to receive the message, or who are willing to receive the message, find something that resonates with them, a dear one that they didn't have closure with, or a grandfather who forgot to say something to their nephew, or a mother and a daughter which had a rocky interaction during their lifetime. So these are the closures needed when mediumship take place, and it's a healing process. With channeling, it's a different type of healing, pretty much healing at the molecular level, opening up to other type of energies. And channeling usually, again, in my opinion, um, is exposing those who want to advance on their spiritual path. Mediumship is pretty much the curiosity or the desire to have that closure, but doesn't necessarily moves people on towards the spirituality or their self realization.
Well, I popped back on because I'm so intrigued and excited to learn more about what happens after we die. I'm very involved with the near death experiencer community, and what I was surprised and delighted by is so much of the medium information can help guide you with either affirming what you already knew or get rest, creating rest and reserved energy for yourself. There's so many people leaving the planet that in the past 5 years, I don't know about you, Claudiu, but so many people that I know have passed. And what's happened is I don't have the same fear about it after listening to all these amazing mediums. And in fact, I just got married in December, and a medium told me about this relationship, and he was just my friend, an old friend. And so, I mean, we are older, but
you look great together.
Together for 15 years. And she said there's this guy, and she actually even sent me a picture of him. And anyway, so I think that there's a big interest right now because of so many people leaving the planet in mediumship and channeling, because people are looking to be reassured about their existence here now and making the right decisions now. Right?
Yeah. And something else, I want to go back to the criteria of those being part of the volume.
Okay.
As I mentioned, Laureen and her concept therapy, I look at those experts who are combining multiple ways of healing, multiple modalities. And David Kopatz, he's a psychologist and a doctor, and he worked with the First Nations or Indigenous American elder, and he included shamanism and medicine wheel into his practice with veterans. So that for me was amazing. And he wrote 4 books with co-author, 4 books with this elder, beautifully painted arrow with his native name, Joseph Rael. So I read one of the books, and it's just amazing. And the work they put in, the drawings, the elder Joseph included in the book, so much symbolism, so much knowledge and wisdom is just unbelievable. So that's why, again, this was another criteria. And Eli Recht is another psychologist who discovered or reached self-realization through Yogananda's Kriya Yoga. And again, he's using that approach in his practice. So to me, that's opening to a new possibility, breaking the boundaries of a boring practice, let's say. It's not just psychology, sitting in a chair, looking at your client, asking questions, the same questions over and over again. No, let's bring some jazz into my practice. And also, this is attracting me a lot.
Yeah, that's why I call these people that are in this new book change makers, because that is somebody actively doing the work in society to usher in this change that we all need. I mean, each day with the external chaos that's being publicized, it's in the field. And so it takes more of a conscious effort to stay embodied, stay in love, stay in the view of what you want to create rather than what is there, which you can only do if you discover your own power.
Yes.
And so I want you to know my buddy Omar, I miss you, Omar, so much. He wrote, we are a point of attention within the infinite stream of consciousness that is being expressed in physical form. Yes.
Thank you.
And he also wrote, he just wrote this. We are like the Borg of consciousness. You will be awakened. Resistance is futile. Perfect.
Yes,
Thank you, Omar.
yes. Thank you.
Love you, Josh. So much of what we're doing here has changed, has the opportunity to change people's view of consciousness. How did doing this project, how did it change your understanding of identity and consciousness by compiling this book?
It gave me the chance to go back through all these interviews and rewind our discussions and maybe look at something which I initially missed during the first interview, the live or the recorded interview, because not always, and I do the editing, I listen to it, but sometimes the much faster pace because I am limited with my time.
Right.
But going through the interview in a written form and doing the editing allow me to really stop at every single paragraph and read and reread and be sure that the meaning is there and accumulating even more knowledge right now. And then again, it gave me the option to write down more questions, even for a potential future interview.
Oh, wonderful.
I mean, I started the work on the third volume, and I'm editing my interaction with Beth Weinstein, with Aluna Alua, with Christoph Melchizedek. And I'm reading all those sentences and interactions that, oh my God, did we really said that? Did it really say that? I mean, it's just unbelievable the depth and the wisdom that comes through this interaction. And again, when you have a book in your hand, it gives you the option to go back and read again. With the interview, you have to rewind, you have to, you need a computer. But when you hold the book, you can jump at any chapter at any time, read from the first chapter, read from the last one. And one aspect which I didn't mention and I didn't bring up in the discussion is the light language, which is also channel and is also healing. And I have Ria Loveguard in this volume. She's a light language linguist. She speaks more than 20 light languages. And if someone speaks light language or they think they speak gibberish, just record a sample and send it to Ria, and she will get back to you saying, okay, you speak Lemurian or
Wow.
I don't know, Beta Centauri or whatever, dragon language. And I did that because at one point I was just thought I'm babbling, and I sent her 2 samples, and she got back to me saying, no, you speak Beta Centauri. So how did she put it? It's very unusual for a man to speak Beta Centauri because it's a feminine language. And recently I sent her another sample and said, I don't think it's Beta Centauri. It doesn't sound like the first one. And she replied, said, no, it's not. I don't recognize this one. It's not blurbing for sure. It's maybe, something else. I can't remember. I know what she said, but it's interesting. It's an interesting interaction. We are not crazy. We are just developing. And if you listen to Jessica Martinez. She's from Texas, and she's part of the volume. And she did a session for me. It was an unbelievable session. The light language she spoke, the um, messages she gave me. I mean, I am privileged to have been working with some of or most of the contributors to this volume, and I got enriched every single time.
I think that's amazing. I feel the same way about, I feel like I'm a constant learner, and these people are so amazing that share their gifts with us. And our job is to create a safe place for them to feel comfortable. Like in my interview with you, you asked me to do a reading, and I I didn't know that's what we were going to do, and I'm kind of cautious about what I do because of the responsibility of the information. It can really change people's lives, and so that was when you asked, it was like, shouldn't I, maybe I should, and I tested on it. I was like, yep, go do it. But the same thing, you have to, as long as you're connected with the highest level of consciousness that you can while you're bringing things through, you're capable of assisting others. And it really is about being in service. All of it, the interviews, the books, all of everything you do, Claudiu, is about that. So Mickey Cameron, another friend of mine, put light language can be so mysterious, but I find it very comforting. And then Omar says, I have my doubts about light language. Perfect. That's the way it is. Well, I find I'm like Mickey. I find that I like it. And again, because I'm not focusing on, I'm not stuck on a word or a sound. It comes in. But I'm like you. I'm a visual learner, a visual person. So I personally love the idea of having a book and being able to read something several times, because it seems like even though my head's getting full of everything, that the book just is a tremendous resource for us. And I think is that why you created the trilogy, is you wanted a resource for everyone?
Yes, and as I mentioned initially, people who don't listen to podcasts and they have a short attention span, they can just, to listening to the sound, they can just get the book, and they can go back to it every single time. There are only three names which I haven't had the chance to mention, and one is Matt Pfluger. He's a dear friend, an amazing mediumship. And when I thought that he knew everything and he's fine-tuned, he announced me last year that he's going to UK to take a course in mediumship and channeling for a week. And I said, why? He said, because I want to learn more, because I want to be among my peers, people who are doing the same thing. I want to meet more mediumships. And he came back from there so excited, and he might go back again just for the connections and for the environment. And he's also a very talented movie director. He's putting together his own documentary series, and he came to my place to do an interview for Spiritually Inspired and for the symposium I put together last year, Holistic Wellness. So he was at my place moving furniture around, installing the lights, the sound. It was a very interesting experience for me to have my first in-person interview. I felt really important that day. And the result of that interaction, I mean, the way he edited the movie, it was just a masterpiece. And I'm very proud with his work.
That's what I mean. There's an opportunity to be a constant learner for your readers of this trilogy, and also for us as interviewers. As long as we are open-hearted and want to bring out the best in our guests and don't hijack the conversation. So Claudiu, how are you seeing all of these opportunities for each and every one of the people in the audience to evolve? Because we're in this huge time of change. We're just at the Chinese New Year right now, which is bringing in the fire horse. There's so many things happening astrologically, as well as you can feel the societies people are starting to question the old systems. How are you seeing this work helping those people navigate through?
So if they go back to the practical lessons, see what you resonate with, and stick to that practice for a week to a month. You heard many times those who reach enlightenment or are very high on or advanced on their spiritual path to stay in silence. Stay in silence with your own heart, with your higher self, and ask questions. Is this practice good for me? And see how your body will react. Ask multiple times if you don't get an answer from the beginning. But the moment you find the practice, could be breath work, could be meditation, what specific type of meditation, could be tapping, could be anything that, again, doesn't require too much effort on your time if you have a busy life, and stick to that practice, as I said, for a number of weeks, and see how that practice changes your life, your mindset, your energy. Change your diet. Stop eating processed foods. Eat more seeds, more vegetables. Try organic. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but you spend more money, but you eat less good food, clean food. Honey, anything related to bee products, anything that is good for your body and gives you more energy, more light from within. That's the main thing. And the moment the body is in good shape, your mind will be in good shape, your thoughts will be in good shape, and you feel that energy that comes through you, and you impact your household, your friends, your work environment. So I know it's a very difficult time in the world right now. As Kathy mentioned, we are bombarded with all kinds of news, and my heart goes to those who suffered yesterday in British Columbia, horrific event. So we have to stay steady on our own path, stay on the 0 point. You send your love and your thoughts to those who are suffering, but at the same time, you have to keep your energy to yourself and have that in mind.
Perfect. Yes, I think that this is the opportunity to harness your attention by doing one of these practices and gifting yourself that time every day, because the practices are the key to opening up your resources as a superhuman. And we are at a point now where we will be able to interact with Creator at a whole different way. Many people have started the work, and now everyone can do the work. And so thank you so much, Claudiu, for all of the advice and wonderful introductions to these beautiful people that you've allowed us to have. And again, I hope people enjoy. I'm in chapter 9. If people want to see what Claudia.
Kathy, if you allow me one more minute. So up until now, we talk about easy ways of stepping and moving forward on your spiritual path. But there are also some radical suggestions for those who really want to push the boundaries. So El Trayan, she was born in Romania, my home country, but she traveled the world. She went to India and she's also to Australia. She studied with Jas Muhin, who was part of the first volume, and now she lives on prana. Might seem impossible, but this is real. And then you have Kristen Kirk from US living in Hawaii as well, and she does the healing in quantum space. So these are pretty much two of the high level ways of healing or living in a good or in symbiosis with the environment, Mother Nature, and the energy field.
Wonderful. Yes, that's what I'm saying, is that you can be educated, inspired, delighted. There's a lot of hope in all of this knowledge. It re-empowers you to not be a victim of what's going on around us, but to harness your own super energy powers to create the world that we want. So thank you so much, Claudiu. I know this is a great gift for everyone. Thank you so much. Let's make sure that everyone knows how to get a hold of you. And I've been putting it in the banner, but could you share?
Yes, they can go to myname.com, so claudiumurgan.com. There you're going to see 4 main links. They will point you to soulawakeningstore.com, from where you can purchase the both versions, physical and ebook. You can go to auraverse.network if you want free content on these subjects we talk about. You're going to see podcasts, you're going to see symposiums with experts in their own fields. Then you can find spiritualinspired.ca, my podcast, either separate or on Auraverse. Yeah, you know what? You have no excuse not to find an expert somewhere out there. One you are going to resonate with and work with him or her.
And again, Claudiu is the example, because he started out interviewing all these people, and now he has his own spiritually inspired healing practice that he's helping people with. So you have to know that everyone can benefit from this exposure to Claudiu's work. And I hope you will enjoy the new book and help him be successful and fund the next the next book. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you.
Bless you all. Thank you. Please share this with everyone so that others can benefit. Thank you, everyone.